We're live. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I'm Dana.
Good morning.
I'm Dana DuBois.
I'm taking a sip of coffee. Lawrence Winterman. Lawrence Winterman.
Lawrence Winterman reporting podcasting duty.
Reporting for duty.
Good morning. That's my best friend.
That's my best friend.
It's just us two today.
Yes.
I'm pretty
Thank
happy
God.
about it. Some days we just need to catch up.
Some days we
know.
just need to hang out with each other.
And I have some bad news.
Yeah, Kira wants a treat. Karen has correctly identified that Kira is desperate for treats.
Yes. So this is Kira, everyone. I'm not sure if you guys can see her because I'm never sure how low the camera goes, but that's her. And every morning when she hears Lawrence's voice, Kira isn't Pavlov's dog. She is Winterman's dog. And she comes running in for one of these. And they are empty. I have more in the other room. So in a moment, thank you. She is pretty cute, I do think. I may have to step out for 1 second to go get her one if she freaks, because she's now like
a super freak. She's
yes,
super freaky.
She's sniffing all over the keyboard, looking for goodness. Thank you for calling her a cutie. I agree. I think she's a very attractive dog, though she is, a mess. Like most of us these days, really. I can't blame you. I can't
Go get her
blame
a treat. For God's sake. For
Okay,
God's sake, go get her a treat.
Should I go get her the treat while everyone's joining?
Yeah, of course. I can keep people entertained.
The
Please do notice Dana's amazing T-shirt.
We're going to come back to that. We are going to come back to
good.
that. Let me go get the treat first. I do want to say, though, like, the last 3 shows, I think, when I hit refresh on genxe.io to pull up our live, I see a flash of it and it goes away. And that keeps happening until about 1/4 after the hour. And I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not having that same problem.
But when it happens 3 times in a row, then it's a pattern. Then it's a thing. And it's officially a thing now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm on a Mac now. I don't know why that would do it. Oh, nope. Refreshed it again, gone. So I can't join the chat for a few minutes.
I'm in the chat, and it's probably just the CIA tapping your computer, gathering information on the terrorist network that we are building here.
Antifa? Is it coming after me for being anti-fascist?
Yeah, our first order of business is how to pronounce it correctly. I'm pretty sure it's Antifa.
Antifa? Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably is. Antifa sounds nicer than Antifa, but anti-fascist.
I move that we remand this to the subcommittee on language, grammar, and pronunciation.
Kira happens to be the chair of that committee.
Oh, excellent. Well, then you best go get her a treat so that she can take up her very crucial business of how are we going to call our domestic terrorist organization?
I second the motion. I will go get the treat.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, give a heart if you're in favor. I wonder, it would be so cute if I could put her in the chair, but I don't think that's going to work. Let me set her down so I don't hurt the dog. Be right back.
Yeah, Musing says I go with Antifa. I think I do too. Antifa. Yeah.
I like Antifa.
Although Antifa kind of makes a little bit of sense since it's anti-fascist.
Yes.
And it also sounds like, maybe you're talking about
your relation,
your aunt,
your tia. Yeah, you're like,
your
quirky. Your quirky mother figure who never had kids, but who takes you to the shows and maybe
that's just Antifa. She likes to
get high for the first time.
Right.
And
yeah, she likes to get high and go out and wave signs and flags and chant against the government.
Right. Exactly. She's like Auntie Mame. She's just, she's
right.
Just that
she's the hippie version of Auntie Mame. Exactly.
Okay.
Antifa.
So can you see the full shirt? Because when it's in this
no, you need to stand up. Oh, hey, boobs.
I know, that's the thing. Porn star body.
I strategically placed that daisy. I didn't know what I was doing.
Hold on. Yeah.
welcome to our show. Say hello to the girls and their host, Dana DuBois.
I am a feminist killjoy.
You are a feminist killjoy. You've
I
got the boobs to
intentionally
prove it.
ordered this in a medium because that's what the dimensions said, even though they're not medium sized. But I like that it's a little tight. I do like the strategic placement of the daisy. I think it's the cutest T-shirt I've ever seen, Lawrence. You did such a good job on this.
Oh, thank you.
So for those of you who somehow haven't heard,
Right. In
Lawrence,
case you don't know,
did you
if you
know that
somehow missed it.
did you know that Lawrence has a T-shirt website called Alpaca Lunch? Alpaca like the animal. This T-shirt Lawrence custom made for me because I said I wanted a feminist killjoy T-shirt, and now I have it. I don't know, like I think I stole this term from my friend Alethea because she used to call herself a feminist killjoy, and I love it. I think it's so funny, and I said put little woodland creatures and shit on it like it's like I'm Snow White. And so I love it. It comes in a bunch of different colors, but this one was by far my favorite.
Right.
At
And that's
least
the unisex cut. There's also a women's cut.
no, this is the women's cut.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's also a unisex cut.
Yes, that's why I was worried because it didn't look like a women's cut. I do wish it had a lower neckline, but lots of people are joining, so I have to stand up again and do the I am
Right. People saw boobs on a little they're like, what's that show with boobs in it?
I am I am a 50-something thirst trap. I'm the feminist killjoy at the same time. It's the cutest
Yes.
T-shirt
Our
ever.
our friend Coach Cap is also notorious for thirst traps, although his are all shirtless.
I know
Coach
I
Cap,
can't
aka Jacob Summers.
I know people keep changing their names on here and I'm like, "Wait, oh, that's that guy." You're not familiar with the phrase? Yeah, I don't know if my friend made it up. I don't think so. I think it's a
No, yeah, it's kind
I've
of
heard
been
it
around in
before.
the zeitgeist for a while. It's just the idea of the right wing complaining about feminists killing
Right.
being fun sucks, killing all the fun, killjoys.
Yes, clearly that's me. Um, and I will not atone for that, Lawrence. Haha.
Oh, that's a good segue.
Lawrence, I am becoming the queen of feminist killjoy segues. You know, I'm going to segue in reverse. Yesterday's show with Walter, I feel like we came up. It was like one of those work meetings where you come up with ideas, and they're like, "That's a great idea. You should go do that, Dana."
Mhm.
And then you're like, "Fuck, no, I have more work to do." I feel like, except that there were no f bombs about it. We were just like, "We should really launch this. We should really launch this." I'm like, I should launch a publication about like feminist killjoy, like,
I mean,
that
didn't
would
our friend Melissa Corrigan already do that? And it's the rage rag.
she did no, but yes, those are very angry. I feel like feminist killjoy could be a little ironic. It could be like this, but bringing in, like, j only ballsy women, except why would I do that? Because 'Cause I'd wanna bring them here.
Right, right.
Mm.
Nick is saying thirst traps against tyranny. That's a good phrase. Boobs for badassery, also good. Um,
I like boobs against tyranny a lot. I might steal that.
boobs against tyranny. Okay, yeah.
Is that
He said thirst traps against tyranny, but boobs against tyranny isn't bad either.
I merged them. What was the first one? It was boobs against something.
No, the first one is thirst traps against tyranny, and the second one was
Thirst traps against tyranny.
boobs for badassery.
We're going for the, alliteration, kind of, or at least the same first letter. I'm tits
Oh,
against tyranny.
Jacob wins. Coach
Tits
Cap, tits against tyranny.
Tits Against Tyranny. That would actually be an amazing publication and podcast, and it would immediately have a lot of
And it's also
subscribers
the
that
next
would
shirt, obviously.
get the next T-shirt. Please make that one, Lawrence, and I will model that one too. I got 2 T-shirts. The other it's upstairs. I was going to show it off, but I had them both upstairs, depending on what I felt like wearing today. But I will debut T-shirt number 2, which Rachel Hendricks inspired. Is she in the chat today? It's
Uh,
hers.
I, I'm not sure that I saw her yet, but yes, Rachel Hendricks inspired the "Fuck Trump" T-shirts. That are honestly, they're one of my favorite things that I've ever done. Because the "Fuck Trump" sort of fades. Oh, Rachel's here. Hey, Rachel. Um, I, I love the shirts. Rachel so inspired me. She even sent me like an image of sort of what it could look like, based on another shirt that she had.
The
Oh
chat's
my
up for
God.
me. Is it yeah, it's 7:11, so just about quarter after. Now I can come in and say hello. I don't know why that keeps happening to me. Um,
Yeah.
but
So the
I
Fuck Trump shirts, I love them. Dana got one. She'll model it tomorrow.
oh,
And yes,
will
Rachel
I?
is amazing. We love Rachel. We love
Yes.
everybody in our chat. You're all my favorites. I can't single
Uh,
anyone out.
right. Yeah. No, we don't play favorites here. You're all amazing. Nothing to atone for there, Lawrence. It's Yom Kippur
Oh,
starts.
are we trying the
I'm
segue again?
I'm segueing again. I wasn't ready to move to the theme yet, so I did a reverse segue. Um, I'm always playing with my hair because there's a lot of it, but right now I in particular am because it's covering my feminist killjoy. But I think I just have to leave it and be. You have to guess that it's like femi femikill.
Yeah. I mean,
It
which
kind of
I think
works
is a
too.
contraceptive, right? Femikill?
It's like it should be more like a pepper spray or something. Like
Yeah. I imagine it's a pepper spray that you
it's a two in
spray
one.
into your hoo-ha right after
Yes,
having sex.
yes, it's a two in one. It's you can use it against.
Oi, sweetie, could you get me the Femikill up off the counter? I
It's
need to spray
attached to
me gooch with the
it's attached
Femikill.
it's attached to my key ring, that I take
Right.
when I go walking.
It's on my fuck the patriarchy key ring.
Yes. My
I
fuck
don't know who I've just become.
I don't either. It's like I
Some,
don't even know you, Lawrence, but I still love you, and, the new name for Plan B, oh my god.
yeah.
Oh, that would be some branding. Actually, before we jump into Atonement, Lawrence, because for those of you who don't know, tonight begins Yom Kippur, which is the second of the high holidays. It is the day that the book of life is slammed shut. So if you haven't properly atoned since Rosh Hashanah, which was, I believe, 12 days ago, bad Jew. I think it's 12 days. If you have not sufficiently atoned, your name isn't going to be in the book of life. Too bad, so sad in the year of our Lord. What is it, 5785? I just wrote it in my story, but anyhow, it starts tonight. So we're going to be talking about atonement and one of the stories I wrote. But before we do that, Lawrence, our
Right.
government,
Then we're going to segue into Jacob's show about toning your abs, from atonement to toning your abs.
are we really? Or is that just a
No,
funny joke?
I mean, I don't, maybe
We should have
Jacob.
set that up because that's funny.
Jacob, do you have an 11 o'clock show where you're going to talk about toning your abs? Because, it's right there waiting for you from the
Mhm.
Day of Atonement.
To toning your abs.
Right.
He says yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
It
Lawrence,
sounds like a morning show thing to do,
it really
like
does.
to go from the most serious of conversations to, something light.
Right. We have to elevate spirits, which I could do with my mug. I usually keep this one on my desk at work, but it's at home
Oh,
with me right now.
yes. Nick's show is at 11, so we're not counter programming
And we
no
expect
chat.
we expect some crunches, Nick, some sit-ups.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
my Thesaurus Rex mug, he knows all the words in all the books.
I love it.
I love it too. I think it's funny. It's making me laugh this morning. On this morning, Lawrence, where we have no government functions happening, right? We got
Womp womp. The government has shut down again at midnight. Kimmy Wynn is asking, as an annual subscriber, do you ever have any subscriber only chats? It's
I think
interesting because we've talked about that, but we haven't actually done it yet.
we now have enough subscribers that we could. Kimmy, do you mean a chat like a thread in the chats? Or do you mean like a live where
Oh
we
yeah, that
let
is a
us know
good
which one you have
clarification
in mind? Um,
because we've also talked about potentially making. I mean, our Substack chat thing is kind of dead.
mhm. Oh, you mean a live? We haven't yet. We have thought about doing it in the future. Right now, we are kind of more focused on just getting this out to everyone. But
I
we,
wonder what we would talk about that. Like we already put it all out there anyway. It's not like
yeah.
I'm not saying we won't do it, Kimmy, because it is a good idea and it could be fun. But I'm just like, what extra would you get if you came to a paid only live? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
let
already
us
going to
know.
talk about sucking dicks, like
You just
I
do it
can't get any
shirtless.
more vulgar.
You do it shirtless in the paid one, Lawrence. Is that what happens? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
That's we're not
Let me
doing.
go to the gym a couple months more before I start doing anything shirtless.
Yeah.
I just the image of Jacob would, make me feel inferior and inadequate. I couldn't possibly compete.
Right. We have talked about maybe doing, either in some sort of educational live, either, like a writing session. We were talking about doing that with Kiki Walter from The Memoirists,
Hmm.
about, like, being available to coach for writing, and we've also talked about Lawrence and I have quietly talked about doing one for, like, tips and tricks for getting going, like, these things we're always throwing out there, like, "Put the hearts in." That helps elevate the live to get more people, and it helps it go live as a
But we're
recap.
giving all that away for free also
We're
anyway.
doing it kinda one at a time if you're always here, but if we were
Right.
thinking about doing
Like,
it.
hey, everybody touch the heart at some point because the number of people who touch it, that's how many likes get baked in when your recap goes live. So
I'm
yeah,
touching hearts with
we don't hoard that kind of information here. Like as soon as we figure it out, we're just excited to share it with everybody.
right? 100%, Lawrence. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're all the tides right all the boats rising along with the tides. Um, that's what we're all about here. So, I don't know if we need to talk about the fact that our government's shut down. I think we all know that. We all heard I didn't listen, but all the hot takes on the atrocious speech given to our top brass yesterday. I would like to hear your take, Lawrence. What do you think is going to happen? All I've heard is that they were silent, that the generals did not um, play along. I watched, little clips here and there of Trump being like, "You can laugh and you can, we've got gold ink now. Isn't that great?" And I did hear that thanks to Melissa Corrigan, thank you for posting about it and listening so that we all didn't have to, that it was a not subtle, we are going to go to war with our liberal cities.
Hmm.
I heard Seattle got checked. Thank you for tagging me on that. I already know Portland got checked. We're supposed to be there in 8 or 9 days, my daughter and I, to go look at colleges. And I'm like, what do we
Yeah,
think? What's the military going to do now, Lawrence?
I, you know, I can't necessarily, of everyone here, we've got, Melissa Corrigan and Nick and Jacob and Frederick Pogue, other people who've been in the military who are wiser to such things than I am. But I agree with the analysis that it was a good sign that they were not clapping or cheering. I mean, first of all, it's the top brass; they're not prone to that kind of thing anyway. But the mood really did seem to be like they knew they were being addressed by people who were not fully worthy of embodying the power to command them that those two people have. And I find that encouraging. And I think that um, my hope is that it's the weirdest thing to say, right? Like my hope is that there's a secret cabal among the military commanders that they have some kind of plan in place that if they are given a truly, illegal order that they will I don't know, am I rooting for a military coup against the government of the United States live on Substack in front of 67 people maybe. Um yeah, I think that they are very serious people who have been in the military long enough, understand the kind of baked in responsibility and tradition of that illustrious institution,
Right.
and aren't going to let it be tarnished by these two yahoos. I mean, that's my take and my hope. Yeah, Nick is saying it's not a coup when it's following the constitutional order. I mean, that's what I feel, right? Like, I guess my question is like, how would we then it would take some untangling afterwards, like does it go to the Supreme Court? Could we trust the Supreme Court to rule with any kind of fealty to the Constitution if in fact they, said this was an illegal order. Like, we know as military commanders, we know this was an unconstitutional order. Um, yeah, yeah. Louder for those in the back. We need a military takeover. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm reading these very wise comments in the chat. It seemed like they were pissed for being summoned for something so ridiculous. Yeah, the whole time I'm like, the audacity and the like, how fucked up it is that those two have power over all of these very serious career
yes.
military people. Like, that was,
And they do have the power to fire them, right? Like, they
yeah,
could do the thing that Trump is famous for, which is he fires the people in charge and kind of runs through them until he gets somebody who is going to comply with his whims. Like, that is a true worry.
yeah.
Um,
I would imagine and hope that they are all lawyering up right now, or they're at least in deep conversations with some very high level lawyers so that they are prepared when told, like, okay, well, we're attacking Portland. We're putting all the might of the military, the US military, and using it to attack Seattle or Portland or some other liberal West Coast city.
yeah,
What did he say of like it's all red with blue on the stripes and that's going to be gone soon anyhow? Melissa, chime in. I think I read that from you if I got that wrong, but I think that was about it.
yeah. I think I'm also quoting Melissa when uh, it is notable that none of the chatter afterwards, none of the leaks, none of the off the record quotes were positive. They were all, all the off the record quotes that got out to the press were, um, this was a waste of time. This could have been an email instead of a pep rally. Like,
Or
it
signal
was,
chat.
yeah, was all negative, right? There was not a single quote or leak that was like, that was inspiring and so I think that's a really positive sign.
Not
Use the
tonight,
cities
Satan
as
just
training
joined.
ground. Like,
So,
what the fuck?
right. Yeah, it was terrifying. Someone called Not Tonight, Satan just joined, and I'm here for your username. I love that.
Right.
I'm also backing up a smidge here because I'm reading back through the chat and I see that a suggestion for a t-shirt that says Tata on it, tits against tyrannical assholes. Like, please make that because I want to wear it. I want to on my, on my chest, on, on my tits. But let's get that going on. It absolutely could have been an email. I'm going back through the chats here and they are unserious people. Yes, except they have the potential to do very serious harm. So, Um, today is a somber day, or at least it's the Jews do it backwards. Usually you'd say it's Christmas Eve when it's the night before the holiday starts. What do you
Mm.
call it when the holiday starts at Eve? It's like Yom Kippur Day, Yom Kippur
Right.
Day,
But that's not it, because that's tomorrow.
that's
Right.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what to call it, but tonight at sunset begins Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. It's the most somber of the Jewish holidays. So we're entering into it in a pretty somber state for our country.
I know you published an article, and obviously we're going to talk about that, but
Let me grab the link.
this year, I'm going to be completely and utterly blasphemous and say God needs to atone to me this year.
Which you said that to me when we mentioned this theme, and I was like, I can't wait to hear more about this. Don't tell me anything now, because I love these blasphemous rumors you're starting. Thank you, Depeche Mode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's much deeper than that, other than, um, it's been a hell of a year, in a number of ways. And I, I'm a person who is relatively guilt riddled, either because of my Jewish upbringing or just the, nature of my being. I've spent a lot of time, uh, repenting for various things, and I'm a little over it. I'd like to, doing the same thing over and over again, is a sign of insanity, right?
But
Not a sign of whatever. Uh, let's switch it up a little. Hey, God, I would like you to repent to me this Yom Kippur. Tell
right?
me what you're going to do for me this year before I seal your book of love, okay?
Your book of love or life.
Whatever.
Um, yes, the Lawrence is referencing the story that I've shared is me being a bit cheeky. It's called the Book of Life is Long and Boring, um,
No one
because
can lift the damn thing.
no one can lift the damn thing. It's time to close the damn thing.
Right.
Was the
It's
original
full of
subtitle.
charts and facts and figures
Yes.
and instructions for
Instructions for dancing. I can't do the Stephen Mary baritone. So the Book of
like,
Love. Are we going to do the whole song? Because
I
you're going to make
maybe
me cry.
we could.
Uh, Melissa played that song at my wedding too. I walked down the aisle to that song, so I knew we had a thing, Melissa. But wow, so the Book of Love is a song by the Magnetic Fields. Stephen Merritt being the lead vocalist, instrumentalist, songwriter. It's off their 1999 opus 69 Love Songs, my favorite album of all time. I think
Magnum
yours,
opus.
magnum opus. Um, And Peter Gabriel covered it, so I think a lot of people know. Like, when I searched YouTube for it, the Peter Gabriel version came up first, and I got angry because it is a Magnetic Field song that Peter Gabriel covered. But I'm being a little cheeky with the title because the Book of Life is what you pray to be inscribed in if you were Jewish and you don't want to die.
Well,
That's the
that
book
year.
that year. That's the book that opens on Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, and closes 12 days later on Yom Kippur. So the Book of Love is long and boring is the opening lyric to the song. And so I made it the Book of Life is long and boring to make Jewish Magnetic Fields fans around the world giggle, which is, I think, just you and me, and maybe like a few. I kept thinking of Tobias Funke from Arrested Development when he talks about being a never nude. There are
Mhm.
literally dozens of us.
Right.
So it's like the Jewish Magnetic Fields fans. There are literally dozens of
Literally
us.
dozens of us, yes. Around the world. Dozens.
Dozens.
Possibly
So
scores.
I know. I don't need there to be a lot of us. It just makes it more special when we find our people, Lawrence. And oh, so I did A/B test that subject line with a more serious one, and the Book of Life one won. So I was like, yes. Even if people don't get the reference, they still like the long and boring in the headline. Take that, SEO. This is not a story that I anticipate needs a lot of SEO relevance, and it's not going to necessarily be evergreen or resonate with a ton of people. But it's interestingly, this is a bit of a topic shift. It's around growing up Jewish, as I did, and our lack of ritual mechanism around death. I should say there are
Well,
rituals. You sit Shiva. There's lots
yes.
of rituals. You have to you have to bury the body quickly, like ASAP, because there's no embalming that's supposed to be done. You're supposed to bury in a very plain wood casket so that it returns to dust. You don't want anything that won't just be absorbed back in the earth. Which cool. We were environmentalists before our time, but then there are very strict rules of like you go to the bereaved's home and you wash your hands because you wash the dirt of you wash death off your hands. The mirrors are covered, and I don't remember why at the moment. But
So you
what you
don't see
base
ghosts. I mean, obviously.
obvious that can't be it, but that should be it, right? There's probably some other reason
Literally, I
given,
don't
but
know the real reason. I have since my childhood just always assumed it was so that you didn't see
right,
ghosts.
so that the dead
You
can't get
look in a
into
mirror
yours.
and your recently deceased loved one showed up behind you and went,
And then you bring lots of food over, and for 7 days, it's called sitting Shiva. You go and you visit the person's home, and the goal, I'm paraphrasing something, I'm sure, but it's the idea of keeping the living in the land of the living and not letting them be alone and, making sure they've got lots of food, honey, that you don't want them to have to worry or not eat well.
literally, I was gonna say, like, Jewish funerals and death rituals are basically like, oh, they're dead. It's very, very sad. Let's eat.
Yes, pretty much. And the other thing is closed casket. It is not, you don't see the dead. And in my mind, it is all the story starts with the death of my grandmother, which happened years ago, 1996. She was one day I'll write about Hannah Rose, my grandmother, who went by Roz and was just this very beautiful spitfire. And I get my love of music from her, I think. Like anytime there was music playing, if we were at a shop, she'd be singing and dancing with it. And I do the same thing. And she was very fit, like exercise 6 days a week, um, all the things that were supposed to be healthy. Pancreatic cancer, though, doesn't care about any of that. And got from diagnosis to death was about 6 months. And um, she and my family both never really confronted the fact that she was dying in any meaningful way. And here's an interesting fact, Lawrence. I think you know this, but I'm going to refresh your timeline memory. I got a job. I had been trying to move to Seattle to be near you and our other friend Denise for a while. At the time, I had gone back to Florida and taken a traveling speech therapy gig for a few months and lived with my mom and stepdad to be like, could I move back to Florida? I don't think I can, but let's try this. It's only a 3-month job. And I got to spend time with my grandparents. And then I got another traveling therapy job for 3 months out here on the Olympic Peninsula, and I took it. And I left at my day's notice. And when I left, I had been working at a hospital in South Florida, like freelance. And one of my coworkers was getting married in November and said, will you fly back over Thanksgiving and cover my shift? And I said, yes, that'll be the next trip when I come back. I left in April, so that was November. My grandmother, got diagnosed like a week or two after I left, I think. Like it was very shortly thereafter. Had it happened earlier, Lawrence, I don't know that I ever would have come out here.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the trajectory of my life would have been, because how could I have left my mom, right? But it didn't. I came out here and I had that date set. And, for those of you who know anything about pancreatic cancer, it's a real asshole. It's one of the very worst ones. My grandmother went through chemo. I got updates through my mom, but I didn't really know how bad it was quite. But flew home. And right before I flew home, the report from the oncologist was the treatment didn't work, right? And I do remember that being told that her worry was like, am I going to lose my hair? Which she didn't, because they didn't give her the hardest chemo because they knew that they weren't trying to stop it, right? It wasn't something where they could make it go away entirely. It was, at the time at least, not quite palliative, but like, let's see if we can manage it and make it smaller. And it grew. And they kind of told her, like, we'll keep you out of pain, was the last thing I had heard. And my mom asked her, like, what do you think? Like, are you going to get a second opinion? Or I don't even know. But she was sort of like, I'll think about it next week. I don't want to think about it. And never, I don't think, ever confronted the fact it was about to happen, her death. I flew home, not realizing how imminent it was. And my mom said, let's go to the hospital on the way home to see grandma. And we got to the hospital, and I mean, I've never, I worked at the time as a speech therapist. I saw people who were pretty close to death, but I'd never seen someone that close to death before. And it was, my grandmother who had just wasted away. It was just like this frail little thing in the hotel bed. And I talked to her, and I don't think she could see, but I did sense that she knew I was there, right? Like a brightening of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it happened so quickly, Lawrence, that like my grandmother always had perfectly manicured long nails, and they were perfect. So she had gotten a manicure thinking she was going to continue to live, right? Like, can you imagine caring about a manicure when you're days from death? But she did.
You can't confront the Grim Reaper with flubby looking nails.
I guess so. That she probably would have agreed with that. And also, like, the whole thing was just how it was so fast and such a lack of acknowledgement of what was coming. But the hardest part was I was 26, 25. No, I just turned 26 and wasn't fully me yet. And now that I know more about this, I'm like, yeah, your prefrontal cortex had just finished fully developing, Dana, like around that age. And I was there with my mom, and my grandfather was there. And it was like, okay, you saw your grandmother. Let's go. We're going to go to bed. And everybody left. And part of me was like, shouldn't we stay? But I sort of I didn't realize that it was the very end. And in hindsight, I'm like, nobody had any way of dealing with death. And so I think we were all kind of scared and left. And then I got a call at like 4 or 5 that morning from my grandfather that she was gone. And I'm like, she died alone in that hospital bed.
Yeah.
Like, he went home too. The
Can't
hospital.
imagine.
No.
I've had one big experience with somebody that I really care about passing, and Char's here. Char knows that I'm talking about our friend Myrna, who is dying of liver cancer. And I'm proud to say that she passed surrounded by people who loved her and cared about her, and that we had a vigil for days, and and a network, so that people would be there when she was actually crossing over. And and it broke my heart to read that part of your article where your grandmother died alone with perfect nails, but nobody around her, because nobody knew how to handle death. And yeah,
I think I was scared. And yeah, nobody knew how to handle death. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there, but you're 100% right. I I mean, I can't ask my grandfather now, and I wouldn't ask my mom, I don't think. But like, 'cause I don't want to shame her, but like, I just think it was a like, and I may be wrong. Maybe there are other Jewish people whose families like fully, I'm sure there are, who are like fully comfortable with all death and all of this. But I was like, at least in my family, like I never had that. And my beloved high school journalism teacher, Mr. Hartwig, died when I was a freshman in college. Tragically, he was only 38. He was run over by a pickup truck that was towing his car. I mean, it was like awful. And he was so beloved by all of us. And I was at college. I was a 5-hour drive away. And I remember talking to my mom, and she was like, "It's you don't need to come down. There's nothing to be gained from it." And I'm now like, my God, why didn't I show up for him and for his family? It's just like, yeah, there was just no, it was like life is for the living, you keep living. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, that you can't let people lose themselves in their grief, right? It is our job to keep one another buoyant. But my God, you have to face the loss first, because ultimately we all go. And at least to me, that is a proper role of faith. And Christianity has a whole, like, you're going to meet your maker, you're going to heaven. There's sort of a happy ending element to it, that I think, you're going to heaven. You have this language that even you can even talk to children about, of like, oh, they're in heaven, they're in a happier place, right? Um, Sorry, my dog is doing. I will just say she's doing a morning wail in the background.
right.
I don't know how
She's
loud it is.
performing the Klingon death chant. Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Good, Kira.
Because they have death rituals.
Right.
So, and I did, yeah, and I didn't even grow up really with pets, unless you count birds and fish, and I don't really. Um, but like, when you lose a dog or a cat, it's different, because you're usually part of the process of deciding, and there's mourning, and you're there or you're not there. I didn't even have pets like that growing up, so it's Yom Kippur is this Day of Atonement, and when you pray to be written in the book of life. I also think it's funny that Catholics go every week to atone for their sins, so they get it out of the way early. The Jews store it up, so
Right,
it's like, this is for a whole year, and you get 12 days.
I gotta bottle this shit up so it's nice and distilled to its essence.
I got some shit to atone for this year, and so that's what my essay ends with, was me atoning for my various sins of the year before. Um, and they're a little bit tongue in cheek and a little bit serious, but they're the same sins every year, so I shouldn't, you know, atone for them. Or I should just accept them. Like, I'm not living in my body. I'm not exercising, and I'm not giving enough time to this, and I'm not doing that. And I'm like, yeah, those things are just going to keep going. sorry, Book of Life. That's just going to be me. Hopefully what I'm doing is enough. But yeah, were you raised, Lawrence, with you lost your father so early that I think you had to have
I mean,
something.
it's interesting because my grandfather died when I was 9. And, we didn't go to the funeral. Like, my dad went to the funeral, but my mom and me and my sister didn't go to the funeral. I don't remember the decision making around that now. I think it was just kind of like they didn't want to schlep us cross country to go to a funeral.
Oh, it wasn't local. Okay, that I was going to say
Yeah. No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
hiding.
It was in St. Louis. It wasn't in Florida where we were at the time. And then my dad died when I was 14, and they don't let you sit that one out.
No,
When your dad dies, you got to go to the funeral. They make you go.
right. I mean, I'm sorry, we shouldn't be laughing about this, but we
You
can't.
can't just say that you are in the middle of reading a book and you don't want to go. They
Did you
don't let you
try?
do that.
Did you try to do that?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I'm making bad and inappropriate jokes because that's how I deal. That's how I deal with that. Hey, everybody.
Oh my gosh, Lawrence, I just remembered another grace note of sorts about my grandparents passing. And these are my mom's parents. My dad's mom died before I was born, and his father died when I was 8. So, and we weren't close. So not a lot of memory there. But my maternal grandparents, I grew up. I mean, you knew them, Roz and Red.
I met them. They
Yes,
were very charming people.
they were very charming people. And when my grandma, they were culturally Jewish, of course, but they didn't go to temple. I don't even know that they went on the high holidays. Um, but they still had, Jewish cemetery plots. And she got her funeral was at a Jewish sanctuary. I don't think it was a temple. I don't remember, but a rabbi led the service, but it was a rabbi. They didn't have a family rabbi, right? And so I assume they met with my grandfather beforehand, but they didn't, to my knowledge, ask about giving eulogies. It was just the rabbi talking who didn't know us. And he kept referring to her as Hannah Rose, which was her given name, but she hated the name Hannah. She
Hmm.
hated it. And her Yiddish parents called her Rose, her middle name, but with their accent, it sounded like Ross. I assume it sounded like Rose because they were Russian Polish, but her whole life she went by Roz, Grandma Roz. So the rabbi, it was this deeply impersonal ceremony because he was using the wrong name. And I think he forgot some of the grandkids' names. He messed up, he missed some pretty important details that I
Right.
just remember. And of course the casket was
He was like,
closed.
I've got a nice brisket at home. I didn't know I was going to be here. My assistant,
And
she's scheduled, was
Thanksgiving,
supposed to be Rabbi Rabinovich, but it's me instead. So yeah, Hannah Rose. Yeah, really sad, everybody. We've got some Hamantaschen back there with some coffee.
you got the wrong holiday. Hamantaschen is Purim, right?
Whatever.
Yeah. I went to more Hebrew school than you did, maybe. Hamantaschen, right?
No, I know where Hamantaschen are from.
The triangles.
I'm making it funny, Dana.
Oh, it's my grandmother's funeral. It's not funny, Lawrence. No, it is funny. It is funny. I'm just a feminist killjoy with no sense of humor.
Right. If you weren't a
Okay.
feminist killjoy, you would find that funny.
Right. No, we feminist killjoys find nothing funny. We're offended by everything. Um, so when my grandfather passed many years later, let's see, my grandmother died in 96. He died in 2010. And he was so pissed he outlived her by so much because he was the guy who drank Tab and then that became Diet Coke every day and never exercised. But his parents lived to be quite old. So he just died of old age at 90. And it wasn't a thing like a death watch like with my grandmother, but we knew he was winding down and he was pretty angry and hard to deal with later in life. And my mom was his caregiver. I mean, he lived somewhere else. But anyhow, when he died, my second born was a month old. And my mom was like, don't worry, you don't need to come back for the funeral. And I was like, I'm not missing the funeral, Mom. I'm flying back. I flew back with, baby in arms, and I brought her with me to his funeral, and I eulogized him. I wrote the eulogy, and I was the only one who got up and spoke. And it's not like I was favorite granddaughter or something. I was, he left us all. I was somewhere in the middle of his 7 grandchildren who the family, they had 3 kids, my grandparents. My mom's the middle one, and she has not spoken to either of her siblings in decades. And they were complete assholes. They didn't come to the funeral, and they showed up for the money. That, like, the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I was like, I am going to show up and I'm going to eulogize this man properly. And I'm going to look at him and say goodbye. And I remember my mom being like, you don't want to look at him. That's all you'll ever remember is him in the casket. And it's fucking not. I mean, I vaguely remember, it was 15 years ago now, but I'm like, yeah, I saw him. He looked like him, but
deader.
Dead and inert. And it wasn't scary. It was closure, and it was okay. And I may have been the only one who looked. I can't remember. Maybe someone came in with me, but I do know for sure I am the only one who eulogized him because I didn't want to not say goodbye, and I didn't want it to be some impersonal rabbi talking. And we went because his given name was Irving, but he was Grandpa Red because he had carrot red hair. He was long since bald by the time I was born, but his hair must have been very red because everyone just called him Red. And I was like, I want him being recognized by the proper name.
Yeah.
That we knew him by. And I want people who are here to know that he was beloved and to hear about his legacy.
Get a lesson in how to actually mourn somebody who left. I just want to point out that we've got so much beautiful sharing happening in the chat. And
thanks, guys. I know I'm not looking
Kimmy and Beth and Rachel and musings and like so many stories of pain and losing people very young or too early or dealing with kind of compounded tragedies like hysterectomies on top of cancer diagnosis. Like you got like we love our chat so much. We love you guys being here, and it's a really intense and tough topic. So we appreciate you being here.
We really do. And musings, you're writing about the flip side of this. He said, oh my, I'm going to have to write about this now. Haven't thought about it in a while. They tried to drag me to the coffin to kiss him goodbye. My 18-year-old sister rescued me. So that's the opposite, right? Jewish people, I feel like they're like in a box, in the ground, get over it. But obviously forcing a child to go kiss a dead body is
right. Equally horrific, unless the child feels compelled and called to do that. You're really making me think about, Kinahora, if we're going to be Jewish for a moment. Like, my mom is 84. I know she's not going to live forever. A friend of hers passed away a couple of months ago, and who was very Catholic, and we went to that funeral. And the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, when my mother passes, I am going to lead the thing, and I'm going to be like, everyone sit in a circle on the floor. We're going to do a drum journey. Shar, I'm going to fly you out. We're going to do a fucking, full shamanic. Everyone, we're going to talk to mom right now.
Does she know this, and would she approve?
I think she'd be mortified. I'm pretty sure she would not
be like, my friends are in their 80s or 90s, Lawrence. They can't get on the floor. You have to give them chairs.
We're going to pass the talking stick, and everyone is going to say 2 nice things and 1 funny thing that you remember about her.
Oh my gosh. Well, Lawrence, again, Kinahara, knock on wood. But should I predecease you? Please do that for me. Because that'd be fabulous.
Everyone's on notice. If I'm around, that's what I'm doing for everybody.
I have a song picked out for my funeral that is not really, it's irreverent. So, one of them is totally trite. I have 2 songs picked out. It's the Jeff Buckley version, the live Jeff Buckley version of Hallelujah. Sorry, I know it's now become very trite, but the one mixed with the Smiths, I Know It's Over. Do you know that version?
Yeah.
But the funnier song is Dress Sexy at My Funeral by Smog. It's probably not a song you know.
I don't know it, but
dress sexy at my funeral, my good wife. It's all about like, think about all the fun, sexy times we had. Don't mourn me. It's like wink at the hold on, I'm gonna find it because it's such a good song. It's from the Imaginary era. It must be like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Um,
For the record, when I go,
yeah.
I want one of those like New Orleans jazz bands marching down the street playing when the Saints go marching in, which is incredibly not Jewish, but there should be a big party. Everyone should drop Molly unless, you abstain for personal reasons. And it should be a rave that goes until like at least sunrise. Like
Really?
that's what I want for my funeral.
Okay.
If you
Um,
don't see God at my funeral, you need to drop some more Molly. I'm
Lawrence,
putting it
I
in
did
my
not know
will.
this.
It's my final request to all of you.
Wow. Lawrence, do you have a will? Do you have this written down somewhere?
No.
No. We should I was thinking the
Do
other day of
you?
like, of course, but I only got it recently. I have kids, right? So I have to like I gotta have one. So I put one together a few years ago. And, the death document was one of them, and she was like, "What do you wanna do?" And one of the options here in Washington State is you can be turned to compost. Like, you literally, after 6 weeks, are dirt. Because like, when you get cremated, you're not really supposed to put the ashes in some places because it's not
Right. Yeah, right. You're not supposed to throw them in the ocean, which is
ridiculous, but
yeah,
you're not supposed to. This method, when you get you're just literally compost, you can grow a tree. And I was
right.
like, "Do that, that's fine." But I'm now like, "Do I really wanna be cooked into compost?" I'm not sure.
Yeah. I Here's the thing. For me, it's
It's
gonna
for
be
the people.
easy because so Brushy says we all drop Molly and rave around Lawrence's body at the funeral. There won't be a body because the minute I get diagnosed with anything, cancer or Alzheimer's or whatever, I am I refuse to be a burden on my friends and family. I Here's the deal. We're all making a pinky swear right now. I'm gonna get into a wooden boat that we're gonna douse with alcohol. I'm gonna get shit-faced drunk and high on literally every drug that I possibly can, and then you push the boat out into the middle of the lake and fire a flaming arrow at it, and I go up. There'll be fireworks in the boat, and the fireworks will go off, and the boat will burn with my body, and I'll sink to the bottom of the lake. And I want a Viking funeral, and then you bring in the front line or second line or whatever it's called, the marching band. So
Wait, do you want the marching band to start right at that moment, or do you want the memorial being a little after the whole because that's a
no, I figure why not? The boat burns and the fireworks go off, the boat sinks to the bottom, and then the marching band comes in and everyone celebrates and there are speeches. You could like pass around a microphone. I remember this one time he got naked and whatever, like tell everyone will be required to tell an embarrassing story about me,
right,
required.
okay.
And then at like I don't know 9 everyone drops their Molly and the EDM DJ comes in. You stop drinking around 8. Everyone drops Molly at 9. They wheel in Gatorade and water and big speakers. There you go.
Wow, and so suddenly my whole, like, I wanna hear Smog's Dress Sexy at my funeral playing, that's how I'll know, my funeral's happening, seems way too tame, and I'm the event planner and the party, like the showgirl. Not like Taylor Swift Life of a Showgirl, but, like,
Right.
I like to
No,
go to
I'm
live
I'm
shows.
saving all mine up for my funeral.
Beth is asking, I have never tried Molly. Will this be handed out, Lawrence, or do I have to head downtown to downtown Tacoma to find some?
I mean, I'm gay. I know so many people who deal like we'll hook you up. Like you don't have to worry about it. It'll be party favors. Like
Yes. Cat
it,
saying,
it'll
"And
come in like a
ecstasy."
little mesh bag with like some Jordan almonds and you just have to am
My
I eating
grand
Jordan almonds or am I eating the Molly?
Lawrence, my grandfather's favorite thing was Jordan almonds, so you just did like
They're good. I
a
mean, come on.
compliment to him, and I see Cat is saying, "And ecstasy." Ecstasy and Molly are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Joe actually has a great amendment. I'm amending it. So I'm going to still be alive and everyone tells their ridiculously embarrassing stories about me. And when we are all crying with laughter, then I get into the boat and we douse it with alcohol, and I take all the drugs, and you push me out to the middle of the lake. Perfect. Perfect,
this is
Joe. Thank you for the amendment.
fabulous plan. And Lawrence, I think you will respect that I just see something I need to do. Hang on, I'm going to be right back, like 2 seconds or maybe 4 or 5 seconds.
Several seconds.
Here I am. I'm coming right back. After my grandfather died, there was, of course, the like things, to go through. And this was like one of the only, this is the thing. This was like by his nightstand of like, I need help. And I love this bell, and it just mostly sits in the corner. I never ring it, but I feel like I was calling to me that it was like I need to be rung right now because of this conversation. And I I love my grandparents dearly. Again, we're from a Jewish, not spiritual sort of family at all. I never feel their presence around me. Like it may be me, it may be them and her belief system, but I'm not someone who's like, but I like, when I have written about them, the story I wrote about the Rascal House, about going to dinner every time we would go down to see them, that's where we would go get dinner, the Jewish delicatessen, very famous one back in the day in South Florida. Um, and I unearthed those memories of them. I could like, I can smell them and I can hear them. And so I am able to draw up memory of them. And somehow doing this is like bringing it back a little bit of like the grandpa bell. And this conversation is bringing it up a bit of like, yeah, I miss those guys. They would have loved my daughters. I wish that my two could have known their great grandparents. And if I hadn't taken so long to have babies, maybe they would have, but I didn't have kids till my late 30s. So my grandmother and my mother both had kids very young, of course, because that was what was done back then. But that's a consequence Gen X brought into the world, right? A lot of us had our babies later in life. And so we don't have I think my grandmother became a grandma at like 47. Like,
yeah.
Well, I had a 7-year-old, 47. So yeah.
Another amendment I'm making. Polly is pointing out that I need to wear highly flammable clothes for my thing. So I'm going to wear a rayon caftan, like that 70s rayon that like caught on fire and went up like a torch.
Like Mrs. Roper.
Hairspray. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Mrs. Roper caftan. Lots of Aquanet. Like I'm going to ignite like a fucking Roman candle, basically.
Lawrence.
Like a dry Christmas tree, says Beth. And Char says I'll look cute in that. Yeah, I mean I will. I'll look really cute in my caftan.
So your final moments, you should look really cute.
Right.
Why wouldn't you look really cute? So this didn't end up really being about atonement, but the story about atonement, my book of life is a boring story, it's starting with our lack of death rituals. So it's not surprising that we're here.
Inventing new death rituals.
And it's part of our like healing generational wounds and doing things a bit differently. Gen X, that fulcrum generation that we are, like recognizing familial, not quite trauma, but like trends that aren't serving us. So yeah, let's all pray we're inscribed in the book of life for I have to look up the year. I think it's 5785. I have to go look at my article here.
5785. Yeah.
Okay.
And can I say Happy Yom Kippur, everybody.
I know, except you don't say Happy Yom Kippur because here's what you say. And most Jewish phrases I know, but I'm not as familiar with this one, but it's Gemar Chatima Tova. May we all be inscribed in the book of life.
Right. I like to subvert the dominant paradigm and say Happy Yom Kippur because that's, absolutely inappropriate. Also, once again, God, you owe me this year. You atoned to me this Yom Kippur.
I think
what is he going to do? Might me? Might me, bro. Come on. Bring it.
Look what we're living through. Like,
yeah, seriously, do I honestly believe that this is reality? No, we're clearly in a computer simulation. What are you going to do? Turn off the computer, please? Jesus Christ!
Reboot this.
Reboot. We're so in the wrong timeline. Like,
right.
Come
Have,
on.
have
This
you
is a
tried
badly written script.
rebooting the OS? Because then we come back and David Bowie is still alive and everything writes itself from there.
Yeah, there you go. There you
That's
go. Yeah.
that's where it all started.
Bowie's alive and continues producing great work. And you know,
We won't say who is dead, but it's not Bowie. It's all I'll
right.
say.
It isn't Bowie.
The Starman is not waiting in the sky. He's still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Betty White.
Betty
Let's face
White is still around, still kicking.
I read
She and
Dolly
Bowie are
Parton
actually
was.
dating. Yeah, in a really weird turn of
Wait,
events.
who's dating?
Betty White and David Bowie.
Oh, yeah, in a threesome with Iman. I'm here for it. In a throuple. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Why
Yeah.
not? Let Betty White deserved all the fun that there is. So,
Yeah.
um, it is the top of the hour. On that happy note, we must say
Adieu. Adieu. To you.
thank you
And you. And you.
and you.
So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Good
I'll be
night.
the same. We love you. We mean
Love you,
it.
mean it.
Bye,
Mwah.
everybody.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Mwah.